Hi, my name's Daryl. I've been a licensed real estate sales representative since the 1989 and been a broker of record, owner of a brokerage, real estate brokerage since 1996. And what I want to talk to you today about is whether a real estate career is the right career path for you. So let's start. This shouldn't last more than about 20 minutes. So let's go through the discussion. The biggest thing about selling real estate isn't about bricks and mortar or lot size. It's about connecting with people. Are you a people person? Can you connect with them? Can you understand and communicate effectively to do the best job for the consumer? That's really what it comes down to. You don't have to know how to build a house or anything to do with construction, but what you do need to know is what is best for your client, even when they may not even know themselves. But let's talk about a real estate career. If you're going to go into sales, why not sell the biggest product they ever buy for the biggest fee they pay for selling anything? And everybody wants a product. It's just a question of when. So you could sell jewelry, clothes, cars, whatever it is, but why? Well, you can come into the real estate business and sell real estate and truly look after your clients. Now the thing is, it's not just about going out there and looking after your clients, it's making sure they're totally happy through the whole process. So let's go through some statistics here. 82% of realtors get their license brand new to the business. They're no longer in the business 2 years later. Why is that? Two main reasons. Number one, lack of coaching and training. In the real estate industry, there is no apprenticeship for the most part. There is one company that provides that, but there is no apprenticeship, coaching and training, mentoring, job shadowing. So you don't get enough good information in here to go out there and do a proper job. Number two, the second biggest reason why 82% of new agents don't make it within 2 years is because lack of positive cash flow. What do I mean by that? Well, you're on 100% commission. You have bills at home and at work. So a lot of people get into real estate and they don't make it because of lack of positive cash flow. If it was your first day in the office and you did the best thing you possibly could, you sold a house, you get paid in 60 or 90 days at best. So think about this. You've had to make 3 rent payments, 3 mortgage payments, all your utility payments times 3, etc., etc., etc. On top of that, you're trying to spend money to attract buyers and sellers to deal with you to make more money. So there's a lot of money going out the door. So lack of positive cash flow is a big thing, coupled with the lack of coaching and training. Okay, let's move on a little bit. Sometimes people say, oh, I want to get my real estate license because I want to be my own boss. Well, let's make something perfectly clear. In every single United State as well as province in Canada, your regulatory bodies say you work for a brokerage. So, yes, you're running your own small business under the broker's license, absolutely true, but there is still certain accountabilities, responsibilities, etc. that go with that. So you're running your own little business, and people also say, well, I want to do it for the hours. For the hours. Well, you have flexibility on your schedule to the degree your clients are flexible. In other words, if you're dealing with a long haul truck driver and he can only look on Sundays, if you don't work Sundays, you're not going to make a sale. I'll talk candidly about the pros and the cons of a real estate career. One of the cons is this. The worst thing about the hours is the unpredictability of the hours. What do I mean by that? Oh, you think you're done for the day at 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, and all of a sudden your smartphone goes off and guess what? You're back working. You're never really sure when you're finished and where you're stopped as far as your hours go as a realtor. Let's move on. The biggest secret for a realtor is to find buyers and sellers to work with in the first place. I'll assume that you're a likable person and a trustworthy person, and people will deal with you. But the question is, can you put yourself in front of enough people to have buyers and sellers to deal with in the first place? So let's talk about some of the ways you find those buyers, and then we'll see whether you sort of size up or not. A couple of ways this can, or a number of ways this can happen. First of all, your sphere of influence. How many people do you know? For example, if you grew up in an area and you participated and volunteered, etc., you know a lot of people. The minute you get a real estate license, those people already know, like, and trust you and will deal with you. That's called networking. That's also something you can do after you have your real estate license. It's just going to take a lot more time. There's something we call farming. What is farming? Farming is regularly delivering flyers to a targeted area. Could be a subdivision, part of a subdivision, a rural area of land, whatever it is. So farming, regularly targeting with mail. Also, another farming is email. And collect all the email addresses and send out worthwhile information. The minute you just start sending some boring newsletter, they delete you from their contacts. Advertising, whether it's magazine, newspaper, internet, that's another method of generating leads, but everything must be done strategically with a purpose, but typically those can be very expensive. There's also door knocking. Door knocking can be one of the most effective ways to do the business, because you're face to face, you shake somebody's hand and ask them if they're ready to move. Telephone canvassing, calling people at home, asking them if they're ready to move. The one thing about real estate that is very rewarding is always having that happy client at the end of the day. That's worth more than the dollars and the cents. In fact, you never focus on your check, your bank account. You always do what's best for your client, and they will always come back to you, and they will refer people to you, which is another way of doing the business. Referral business. That's the strongest way, because if you did a good job for somebody and they told somebody else that they should deal with you, they're coming in more than half sold. Unless you mess it up, they're a client as well. So there's just, there's also open houses where you're inviting the public in to take the bait of a house. So there's just some typical ways of approaching the business, what's involved. It's more about connecting with people than bricks, mortar, acreage, or whatever it may be. How long is it going to take? Well, that's going to depend on your state or province. There tend to be the regulatory bodies that govern these things, so you'd need to check with them. Typically, if you just Google TexasRealEstateLicense.com or Ontario Real Estate License, whatever it may be, north or south of the border, you'll get all the information very quickly and easily if you haven't found it already. One thing I do want to bring to your attention is this, is that there's a varying degree of time to get your real estate license based on which state or province you reside in or want to trade in. So it could be anywhere from 60 days to 6 months. One of the cautions I would give you is this, is that the longer the course, be prepared. Sometimes you might have to do 3, 4, or 5 phases to obtain your real estate license. And most of them, a lot of them can be done online currently, but sometimes they want a couple of weeks to get your results, and you can't sign up until you have your results. So if there was, for example, just 3 phases, that would be 2 weeks for phase 1 results, phase 2 results, phase 3 results. So there's a month and a half of just waiting potentially to get your results before you can go even forward. So it's not like it's an overly onerous kind of a thing, but there is a lot of waiting time. That's why if you're currently working, you may want to just continue with your job and work and chip away at your courses online, because there's only a certain speed or pace that the courses can go. the cost can vary anywhere, again, depending on where you're going to trade, between $1,500 to $5,000 a year. That includes your state or province initiation dues and fees, membership to a real estate board, etc., etc. So a lot of people say, well, boy, if it's going to cost me $4,000 to be in the business for a year, that's a lot of money. Yes, or $5,000 or $6,000, whatever the number may be. But the thing is, if you make one sale, you're even. That's the way I would look at that. But the goal isn't to be even and just pay your bills. Obviously, the goal is to have a different lifestyle than you perhaps see right now. Or if you're coming into the business world and or sales world and there isn't a lot of jobs out there, then of course real estate is an excellent option for the reasons we've mentioned before. So let's wrap up on that note. And I will say this, if you ever want to ask a question, my email address is druff, that's D as in Daryl, RUFF as in Frank and Fred, 9876 @gmail.com. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have or advice on a real estate brokerage that you should be looking for, etc. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was helpful to you. Good luck with your real estate career and shoot for the stars. Thank you.